Hey everyone, it's Lincoln aka Vnox here, and today we're going to be doing a director's commentary of Spider-Man Rise of a Hero to celebrate its 10th anniversary. Forewarning, I will be pausing a lot to give my commentary. Without further ado, let's get into it. So first fun fact about this movie, in the opening scene where I go into an abandoned building, that's actually my family's home that was under construction at the time. I didn't have to worry about any strangers coming in and saying, hey, you can't film here, because my family owned it, so didn't need a permit, didn't need anything. I don't know why the school paper would be okay with students breaking into abandoned buildings, taking pictures, but hey, I made up this entire script on the spot, for the most part.
Holy crap! That's a huge spider!
That spider's actually just a PNG effect I found online. For some reason, the shadows of it change with the lighting of the shot. That wasn't an intentional effect. It just happened by accident. I don't quite understand.
Stay there.
As if a spider can listen to you, but I guess you can try. Nothing back there. I don't know what you were expecting to see back there. Looks everywhere but up, which is intentional because the spiders do climb on the ceiling sometimes. Spider sense going off right away. Not wasting any time. It's one thing I like with this film. I didn't waste any time. I got straight to the point with everything. In the original cuts, I had a lot more deleted scenes added in that just made it longer for no reason. I was really straight to the point here. Right away, we're already to Peter climbing a building 30 seconds into the film. It's a little bit too fast, though, because here he becomes the wrestler. We don't know what's going on. If you've never seen Spider-Man, you'd have no idea what's even happening right now.
This guy really rips me off. Yeah. It's not my problem.
Obviously, this is from Spider-Man 2002. I missed the part where that's my problem. But I didn't have any actors. And if you've never seen Spider-Man before, or if you haven't seen the first one with Tobey Maguire, you'd have no clue what's even happening here. It makes no sense without any context. So this film does not stand on its own, unfortunately. I didn't have any actors. I didn't have anyone to be in it besides my younger siblings who were really young. It was a struggle finding people to help me make this film. I mostly made it about myself.
Not my problem.
So that's implied to be Uncle Ben who got shot. Fun fact about this scene, there's a deleted shot where I went over to Uncle Ben's body and I was like, oh no, Uncle Ben! No idea why I didn't include that in the final film. Maybe it would have made it easier to understand what's going on, who was shot, what's going on. We're 2 minutes in and we've basically covered the first hour of Spider-Man 1 in 2 minutes.
My name is Peter Parker. A while back I got bit by a radioactive spider.
I'm going to stop you there, Peter, because this is actually one of the only scenes in the entire movie that was scripted. I wrote this ahead of time. Now, I didn't write it entirely by myself. I actually gathered a lot of inspiration from this comic book, Spidey. This was a comic I was reading at the time. I still remember it very fondly. It was a very good series. I lifted a lot of this monologue from this comic. Now, not all of it is from this comic. I tweaked some things, but that served as some really good inspiration. This comic briefly goes over Spider-Man's origin literally in one page. And I kind of lifted inspiration from that because I didn't want to spend too much on the origin. This comic actually served as a great inspiration for this film. I don't know if any of you knew that. I highly recommend this series. It's really great.
I thought that was my gift, and I could go around misusing it. I was wrong. The day my life really changed is when my Uncle Ben made a sacrifice. The last words he said to me was, with great power, there must also come great responsibility. I had to use my powers and protect this city. My responsibility. So I put my cosplay skills to good use and became Spider-Man.
I will give myself a little bit of credit here. I think the parts I wrote were actually pretty well written, integrating my own work into work I've been inspired by. If I took more time writing the film overall, I think it would be a lot better, because the parts that I did write actually weren't bad at all. The parts that weren't very good were the parts that were improvised. Just a tip to everybody out there who wants to make a film, make a script for it. A second draft wouldn't hurt either.
The day my life really changed is when my Uncle Ben made a sacrifice.
the posters in the background. We're just gonna assume Iron Man over there and Batman, Superman, like all these guys are just movies, comics, but Spider-Man is real. But these guys are just movies.
I put my cosplay skills to good use and became Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, Superior.
Okay, so this shot right here that played for half a second is actually an effect that I got inspired by from a different fan film. Basically how I did it was I laid on my back and I had my feet out in front of me and I made it look like I was jumping in the air. The problem is I didn't do the effect quite properly. I should have had the camera even farther back so my feet look super huge. But it still looks pretty good. The green screen effect doesn't look that bad.
Superior.
Okay. You want to talk bad? This part's pretty bad. I'm not even going to talk about how I clip out of the frame multiple times. Look at my feet. My feet are gone. Also, the web almost never matches with the hand, and it's going through the black bar. It's just a mess. It was my first time making a film, so I'm not going to hate on myself too much. Not great. Oh. Okay, now it's sticking to it. The background footage actually comes from a deleted scene from The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which was the most recent Spider-Man film at the time. So that's why I was able to find footage of buildings moving around really quick, because it came from a real Spider-Man film. It doesn't look very good. Also not matching the hands again. Actually, that shot doesn't look that bad. Still going over the black bar, though. And my feet are still gone. This background monologue part, this is this part that comes from the Spidey comic, almost word for word, which I think is pretty cool.
Punch once or twice. Won't like
the average Spider-Man. Whatever. I'm gonna try not to quote myself too much during this video because I've seen this film so many times. I think George Lucas said this once: you better love the film you make because you're gonna watch it so many times. And I've watched this film a lot of times. Okay, first off here, I didn't have a face shell. The face shell is a plastic mask that goes over your face that basically covers up your facial features like your nose and your mouth and sometimes even your ears. They use it in Spider-Man movies and Spider-Man fan films, but I didn't have one, so that's why you can see my lips and my nose and my ears. Looks very strange, but that's how it would look in real life if someone was wearing a Spider-Man costume. So yeah,
you gotta pay attention, Spidey.
Okay. There's danger nearby.
Danger nearby.
I love this effect. This might be my favorite effect of the whole film because it's all done within camera and it actually holds up really well. And if you want to learn more about how I did the effect, you can watch the locations video that I made. So this is my friend Connor, who played Shocker in the film. He was very last minute casting because I knew I wanted to have Shocker in the film. I didn't know who was going to play him. I just needed somebody who's my age that I could fight. As you can see here, he's wearing bandages around his ankles. I remember he told me he had poison ivy, so that's what that's about. And he's wearing flip-flops. Not something a criminal, maybe not something a criminal would wear in a high-speed chase, but hey, you never know. So this background music actually comes from an old YouTube video called Spider-Man, the New Avenger, before we knew what Spider-Man Homecoming was going to be called. But this theme song, I feel like it's synonymous with my fan film. It just brings me a lot of nostalgia. I love it a lot. The bag he's supposed to be holding has the Shocker gauntlets inside of it. I guess we didn't really illustrate that very well in the film. Just thought I'd clear that up. I think we said it was like a security camera? I don't remember. It had something to do with security, so I guess he just punched it with his bare hand. There I am, just perched on a fire hydrant, as you do if you're Spider-Man. The music in the scene actually also comes from a fan-made track, the Vultures theme from Spider-Man Homecoming, but we used it for Shocker.
Well, if it's a fight you want, it's a fight
you'll
you
get.
get. So you're a boxer, right?
Like I said, we made up all this dialogue on the spot. I remember I said, so you're a boxer like Muhammad Ali, but we cut that out. Okay, funny part about this shot is the guy walking in the background. I guess he just went on with his day and just didn't care what was going on. Fight scene could be worse. It's not good. Could be worse. Yeah, I guess I'm just trying to chase Shocker. And then I just run past him.
No.
Could have used that before. Also, I never noticed this. The web effect shows up early. So, I don't know what that's about. Even for the time, that effect wasn't very good. I probably could have found something better. I use Iron Man sound effects. Running away. And then he fell. So to explain this, Connor said something like, what if Shocker ran over there and climbed and then fell? So Spider-Man could catch up with him. I was like, okay, fine by me. I can definitely understand someone not knowing what's even happening here.
What's the bag for?
Wait a minute, Spider-Man. Why didn't you just keep the bag? I know you don't know what it's for, but if this criminal has it, it's probably up to something bad. So, probably should keep that.
None of your business, kid.
Yeah. Wait, did the spit hit me? Also, did I teleport on the ground over there? I don't even know what's happening anymore, and I made the film.
Evidence.
Evidence. So this part here actually has a pretty good choreography. Ignore the random extra in the background, but we actually planned this out. A little punch. That was pretty cool. I actually like that. This was also planned out, but doesn't look as cool. You can see my water bottles in the background. It's funny. Apparently, he has a battery pack like around his waist that we just made up to basically end the fight. Or like, how are we gonna end this fight? And then Connor's like, what if he has a battery pack that's charging the gloves? So, I guess if you just attack it enough, then his gloves don't work? I don't know. We had no idea what we were doing. If you couldn't tell. Maybe it wasn't obvious to you yet. I don't know. We didn't really know what we were doing, but we were having fun, so that's all that matters.
So you don't like getting kicked in the battery pack?
Oh, jeez. I should have turned that down. Okay, there, for some reason, I didn't add any of the effects. I don't know what's going on. This film got delayed by multiple months because my editing software wasn't working, and my computer was really slow. I remember in the original cut, I had blue blast coming from it, but not here. I honestly think it was a hardware issue. My editing software was crashing because I was using too many effects. So you just have to use your imagination for this shot.
It's more you want, it's more you'll get.
Spider-Man jumps up on a wall and then just kicks him in the face. So the whole battery pack thing was completely useless.
Could have made a fortune off of milkshakes.
That line was actually inspired from the Amazing Spider-Man 2 video game, I think. Another line that was inspired by Spider-Man media.
Oh, the cops. You don't like me.
Okay, think, Peter. How could he have done this better the next time? He could have easily called Iron Man. Or something like that.
Or something like that. So I guess Iron Man is real in this universe. I had posters of him in the background. I guess I had a drawing of Spider-Man on my wall. It is ironic that I bring up Iron Man here because this film came out a year before Spider-Man Homecoming and the whole Iron Boy Jr. thing with that movie. So I guess I was just ahead of the curve.
Not taking matters to your own hands.
Into your old hands. I was praising my narration before. This was the best take? Okay, who am I kidding? I probably did it in one take and called it a day. In fact, I absolutely did it in one take and called it a day. That was just the style from my filmmaking back then.
Okay, think, Peter. How could he have done this better the next time? He could have easily called Iron Man. Or something like that.
Something like
Not
that.
taking matters to your own hands.
Into your old
Seriously,
hands.
how am I gonna handle this at school?
This is school. Dude, enunciate, please. This is the end of the movie. I don't know. Maybe I was just fed up with making the movie at this point. I believe this was the last scene that I filmed. I filmed almost everything in chronological order. I'm guessing this recording was the last thing I did for this film because I had all the footage at that point, and I actually filmed everything in sequential order. So I probably just wanted to get it over with. Not a good mentality to have when you're making a film.
Oh, speaking of school, I don't have my bike. I do have something else.
Fun fact. So yeah, obviously I didn't make the CGI myself. I took it from a different YouTube channel, which I credit within this video. Mainly the reason why I did this is because I wanted to have a cool final swing scene to end off the film. Just like they do in the movies. Fun fact about the Spider Room song, that's actually what got my video copyrighted by Sony and I wasn't allowed to make any money off of it, and I had to change the song. And when I changed the song, it had a royalty-free music in the beginning of the video, but then after the song was over, the rest of the video was mute. So that was really frustrating. I like this part, how it says Vulture versus Spider-Man, Spider-Man Homecoming OST, when that's not even an official song from the movie. It's a fan-made song. Spider-Man Homecoming wasn't even out yet. All we knew about it was the title. This is actually the YouTuber that did make the CGI at the end of the video. He didn't make it for me. He just posted it on his channel, but I did actually ask him for permission in his comment section. Hey, could I use this for my fan film if I credit you? And he said yes. He was really chill with it. So thank you. Thank you again. 10 years later. Oh my gosh, this last part is so poorly written. To my fan, for the support you have all given me. That could have used a rewrite. Produced by Lincoln Dahlman / VNox Creations. Directed by Lincoln VNox Creations. Just crediting myself for my own film. Like other Marvel films, this has an end credit scene.
Huh. Weird. Otto was supposed to meet me after school. At least that's what he said. Some science experiment.
And there it is. The film ended with the cliffhanger with Doc Ock. Now, I never actually included Doc Ock in the sequel film for a multitude of reasons. One, the person I originally had in mind for playing him wasn't really comfortable being on camera. Two, the effects would have been almost impossible to do and make it look good within a fan film. And three, actually making the Doc Ock arms would have been a really complicated process. That would have, at minimum, delayed the movie by a few months, because there was only one tutorial at the time on making Doc Ock arms, and I think it took the person like a month to make the arms. And I don't think I could have made Doc Ock arms at age 14. Originally, I was gonna make a director's cut where I put both of these deleted scenes into the final film to make it a few minutes longer, but I ended up not doing that. If you guys are all interested in seeing a more improved version of the film, I would happily do that. If there's interest in it, just post in the comments if you'd want to see that. But yeah, that's it. That's my fan film. I was super proud of this film at the time. I spent the whole summer working on it. I began drafting it in the spring. I got ideas to make it because I saw all these fan films online that I really enjoyed watching. And I was like, why not me? I really want to make a fan film. That's something I really want to do. And although the film as a whole isn't super good, I still look back at it very fondly, and I can really appreciate all the effort and time that I put into making it. I feel like that shows in the film itself. Even if the video is not very good, I can still appreciate all the effort and time I put into it. That's it. That's the 10th anniversary celebration of Spider-Man Rise of a Hero. Overall, this was a really great experience. I love looking back at these films. I had a lot of fun, and I hope you have fun too. This is Lincoln, aka VNox, signing off.